Hey, Marist College. You're watching MCTV's The Other Half. I'm Brittany Jelinski.
You sure are, and I'm Rob Carrera. I'm very excited for today.
Why is that?
So I can spread my knowledge with others, of course.
Right.
Brittany, you and I both know that I'm an absolute master at helping people handle, having a crush and helping them land that crush, like Rafael Nadal on clay, baby. Smacking it.
Okay, let's just talk about Rob's definition of landing a crush.
Please.
So a guy freshman year had a crush on me, and he lived on Rob's floor. So what Rob did to help him out was tell me that there was a party going on in that room, and then he pushed me in the room with all the lights turned off and locked the door. And I was trapped in this room with this guy who just thought, I don't know what he thought, but I was very afraid, and I was very, let me out of here, kind of reaction. That's Rob's idea of helping someone land a crush. And anytime, I'm just going to say this, Rob, I know you're being a good friend. Anytime I have a crush on someone and I say, Rob, do you think he likes me? What do you think? Rob says, he likes you. He likes you so much. Most of the time, they don't like me, okay?
I think Brittany's a winner. She's a dreamer. She shouldn't fall short of her dreams, okay? And to that point of when I locked you in the door, that did happen. I'm completely to blame. But to be fair, he was hot, you know it. A body like David.
Oh, yeah, no, those
like
abs
the statue
are
of
pretty
David.
nice.
The abs you could kill someone.
Ooh.
You crush them up against those abs. I was inebriated a little bit, I'm not going to lie, so I thought it was a good idea at the time. What are you going to do? It's what happened.
Anyways,
You'll learn
let's
from that
define what it is to have a crush. According to any dictionary, a crush is a brief but intense infatuation for someone, especially someone unattainable.
Do you think you always have a crush on someone unattainable, Britt? What do you think? Well, what if that, is defined as a noun?
Well, actually, that's what a crush is as a noun. But as a verb, it means to pulverize or force with by a pushing force. And I think anyone who has ever had a crush knows exactly what that feels. That just pulverized feeling.
Pulverized, that's it. Like a pizza pie.
Yes.
So, Brittany, tell me, have you ever felt crushed?
I think we both know the answer to that question. All the time. All the time, yeah.
She feels like it's a rock and a hard place all the time, and she's just crushed in between, romantically.
And if you're anything like me, when you have a crush on someone, you're just really stupid. You're giddy and you smile all the time and your depth perception is off and you have no control or balance of what comes out of your mouth. But lucky for me, I'm not alone. So let's check out some of Marist's most embarrassing crush stories.
Hey everyone, Amanda Splendorio here for MCTV's The Other Half, and I'm going around asking people what their most embarrassing thing they've done in front of a crush is. Let's find out. So what was the most embarrassing thing you've done in front of a crush?
The most embarrassing thing? Oh my god, there is a laundry list of that stuff. Throw back to 5th grade. We'll throw back to 5th grade. I got this girl that for Christmas I got her a Nestle hot chocolate packet because that's all I had in my backpack. And I gave it to her, and it just went it was already open, it went all over her white, uniform.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was emotionally scarring. For both of us, I think.
Okay, so was she really mad?
No, she wasn't that mad, actually. She kind of laughed it off, but I could see in her eyes she was mad.
There was this one time for junior prom, it was after a football game, and I went to go ask a girl to prom, and all my friends had posters and balloons and stuff, and I went to go over there. I tripped on my cleats and fell on my face, and I was really embarrassed and walked off the field, and then came back and asked her later.
Did she still go to prom with you?
Yeah.
So in 5th grade, this girl in my class I had a crush on had a inchworm in her hair, so all my friends were like, Brian, get it out of her hair, but I choked and she was just screaming for a good 30 seconds, and I looked like an idiot, so that didn't really work out too well.
Okay, so what's the most embarrassing thing you've done in front of a crush?
I would have to say this one time we went to the beach and I got caught in the undertow and everything came off in front of his entire family, all watching me like an audience. It was probably the most embarrassing moment of my life.
I'd been building up this throughout the whole year. I've been, trying to build up the courage to ask this girl for her email address because, of course, I had to know what her AIM and email address were. So whole year, building up to this last moment on the last day of class. I go up to her. As I'm asking her for her email address, we weren't even that good of friends. I tripped and fell during the actual asking of it, so needless to say, she never responded to my email that summer.
Alright, so in 7th grade, me and my crush were walking in a pretty empty hallway, and I was looking at her, talking to her, and I was about to ask her to do something that night, and I tripped over a kid bending down in his bottom locker, so that was pretty bad.
The most embarrassing thing I've ever done in front of a crush would have to be the time that I basically attempted surgery on myself after hurting myself in a skateboarding accident. And I'll explain that this was in high school, and I was with this girl that I liked, and I fell, and it wasn't that bad of an accident, but I had some rocks and stuff in my leg, and so she was in front of me, and I was just trying to be tough, and so I took a pocket knife I had in my pocket, and I'd seen this done in medical shows where you have to get out the debris. So what I did is I basically took this pocket knife and I just started doing surgery on myself, just cutting open my leg and pulling the rocks out unnecessarily. I probably could have just brushed this stuff off and it would have been out okay, but for some reason in my mind it would be really impressive if I started to open my leg up with this knife and pull out the rocks. And she freaked out and pulled the knife out of my hands, understandably, but that would have to definitely be the most embarrassing thing that I've ever done, or at least the stupidest.
So what's the most embarrassing thing you've done in front of a crush?
Well, in high school there was a fire drill and my crush was in the class, and so during the fire drill I was going to leave the class and I completely wiped out and fell all the way down the stairs, and I was bleeding all over my knees and my elbows, and he saw it. It was great.
Well, in 8th grade, I was playing a basketball game, and my crush was in the stands, and I thought it'd be cool to give her a little shout out, so when I shot a three-pointer, I turned around while I was in midair, pointed at her. Turns out I airballed it, and that was the last I ever spoke to her.
Aww.
In high school, we had privileges. You had good grades, you were allowed to walk uptown. We were allowed to go to shops, get lunch, that kind of thing. And there was this girl I had a crush on for a year, maybe or so, and I don't know if she ever knew, besides the fact. We were walking uptown, and one of my friends drives by in his car, honks. I look to the left, wave at him, not looking in front of me, and I walk headlong into a telephone pole and end up knocking my ass flat onto the ground.
Well, when I was in the 7th grade, my friends were trying to play a joke on me, so they wrote "I love Jack," who was my crush, on my shoe, and I didn't know, and I put my shoe up, and he sat right in front of me, so he turned around, he saw it, and he never talked to me again.
Okay, so Kyle, tell me what the most embarrassing thing you've done in front of a crush.
Well, Amanda, thanks for having me on this show, and I'd just like to say to all you ladies out there, yes, I am single, and this may have had something to do with it. So, we just came off of spring break, and I was taking out this girl to protect her identity. We'll call her Sarah. New Taco Bell goes up in town, and they featured the double cheesy burrito. And let's just say this is before I knew I was lactose intolerant. So I ordered the big cheesy burrito, and Sarah got some kind of salad. Didn't look that very good. But on the drive home, pull over the side of the street and hightail it back into the woods, So, I couldn't play it off any other way. And, I just had to take a dump in the woods and then come back in the car. And, well, needless to say, it wasn't that good of a ride home.
How did she react to that?
Well, there were multiple stages of reaction. First of all, when I ordered it, she knew this was going to be bad. Double cheesy burrito, who gets that? The second stage of reaction, I'd say, would have to be a flatulence release in the vehicle. And she pretended not to notice this at first, but then she was making audible coughing sounds and opened the window. So, that kind of led me to believe maybe she was starting to smell it. And then the third reaction, when I went into the woods, is just one of despair, really.
Well, there you have it, just a handful of Marist College students' most embarrassing moments in front of crushes. I would tell you what mine is, but we're out of time, and my boyfriend is currently operating the camera. This has been Amanda Splendorio here for MCTV's The Other Half. Back to you guys.
Can we get that guy on the show, the last one?
Yeah, no, that last
The
guy.
one who pooped his pants? He almost pooped his pants?
When I saw that, I was like, there's hope that this show may continue on in the future.
God bless that
Oh
young man.
my
Wow,
God.
wow.
Some of those stories, I was crying. Okay, hands down, pooping in the woods when you're with your crush.
That's really
That is
innovative.
bold.
Okay, people in 5th grade getting I couldn't even spell crush in 5th grade. Granted, I was foreign, but still. What?
Foreign, you
And then that kid with the knife? Was that legal to have that pocket knife?
Yeah,
What?
that was scary. That was pretty scary. But
Was it me or was that like, no, I got this?
I really liked the one when the girl was in the
Crazy.
water and all her bathing suit fell up because that's happened to
That's
me
hot.
too.
That's hot. I had no problems with that one.
No,
I had
but
no
see, that
qualms with
happened to
one.
me when I
hot.
was like 12 and I had like those awkward 12-year-old boobies.
Shut up. Don't ever on this show ever say awkward 12-year-old boobies. You are ruining breasts for everyone
I'm
ever.
sorry. But yeah, so those crushes were definitely very intense. But Rob, I'm curious to know, because you're so judgmental on embarrassing moments, what is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in front of a crush?
I've had 3 really embarrassing points in a crush. I'll start with Exhibit A. 4th grade, this girl ended up not being hot, so it was okay. But in 4th grade, I had one. Of course I had one, because you're like in that, oh my God, girls talk to me. So even though I'm always suave and sophisticated, I had this crush, and we had a teacher, I almost said professor, we had a teacher that was, how do you say politically, a little overweight, like a lot. But like, she backed into me one day without realizing I was behind her because she was a larger woman, and my face hit her butt, and I fell on my ass, and the whole class was like, oh my God, Rob, butt man, and like, she was like laughing so hard. I was like, fuck. I was like, I need a new crush. I have to transfer schools. So then I left Portugal and I came to the United States. No, I'm just kidding.
I have a good amount, but I think this one takes the cake because like I feel like I fall so frequently.
She has the worst center of gravity of any person I've ever met in my life. Like, she'll just be talking to me sometimes, and I think she's like trying to move her hair, and then her whole body will give out. Like, what is that? Like narcolepsy of the body?
So it's like very...
I get it! Bros, we are clever.
Well, this one was like totally out of my control. Are we done? So anyway, I have a crush on this guy, and it was a work party, and it was a big party. It was my first work party ever, and I really, really wanted to prove to everyone that like I was an adult and I could handle myself. I wasn't.
Brittany, an adult.
Shut up! I wasn't 21 yet, and like it was
Jewish.
Shut up! I wasn't 21 yet, and it was like an open bar, and I felt really cool that I could just go and drink or whatever. But my mom crashed that work party because she's like a BAMF. She went up to my actual crush, who the only reason she knew him was because I cyber stalked him in front of her. So she goes up to him and she was like, oh my God, are you so-and-so? And he's like, because like a strange lady just came up to him and knew his name, and he was like, yeah, why? And she's like, I'm Brittany's mom. So, like, the worst thing you could possibly say. Imagine getting a text from someone you really like that's like, yeah, your mom just came up to me, and now we're hanging out at the bar.
Now we're hooking up.
I, like, wanted to kill
Your
her.
mom is a fox. I have to say, Miss Pam, you know my number. You have it. Sorry. Was that wrong?
Yeah. Too far.
You denied me. I might as well go for the next best thing.
Oh, should we talk about Rob's crush on me?
Hot mom. Yeah, no, that was fun. Yeah, so like the first 2 weeks of colegio, universidad, as the Spanish like to say, I had a crush on this ugly thing over here. And what a whirlwind of emotions. So it was like the first couple of weeks of school, and like all our friends were like, you guys are totally going to hook up. Like it was like before, it was like all that hype up when you're a freshman. You're like, I just want to hook up with everything that has legs, you know? So like, and then the first night I went out with Brittany, partied with her, she's like, I can't even see. And she did this with my face.
Night.
She did that really loud and like reverberated my face off. Like that happened.
Is that how the crush ended?
Kind of. You had such firm hands. I was like, I don't want that touching my you-know-whats, my twigs and berries. I was like, fuck that. So then I started hooking with girls with mustaches instead. Much safer, lowballed it. Much safer.
Okay.
I went from like here to there. But that happened. And then, you know, as with crushes, they just go away. And then we became best friends.
Anyway.
But people to this day...
Because, Rob, you still tell people that we're dating.
I've had a girlfriend for 2.5 years. I'm pretty sure that joke's over. But yeah, up until sophomore year, people were like, so like, how's Brittany? I'd be like, oh, she's great. No, but they would be like, no, but like, how's Brittany? I'm like, I think we got lost somewhere in this conversation. Could you reiterate? And they met in the bedroom. And I was
Thank you for clarifying.
I was like, I'll let you know. Never.
Rob, all right, let's move on from this.
You're just embarrassed that I'm a stud and that you could have had this.
Yeah, I kick myself every day about it.
Can we push her off the stage?
All right, you want to move on?
Sure.
This is you're okay.
Oh, is this me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Brittany, you have obviously had to deal with this frequently, of course. Let's throw some tips out there for handling your crush, ladies and gents. I'm Britt.
All right. So, first and foremost, if you have a crush on someone, even if it's like an actor or a rock star or whatever, you need to remember, shut up, you need to remember that they're a regular person and they don't want someone gawking over them. So, yeah, go ahead, stalk their Instagram endlessly, talk about them to your friends, and scribble their name all over that notebook. Just don't forget that they're human too. You don't.
Who uses notebooks anymore? Poor people, that's who. Poor. Crazy. Yes, Britt, remember, as much as you might be nervous around them, your crush that is, you have to talk to them if you want that crush to, actually become anything significant. If you have a crush on someone, and obviously if you already have a relationship with someone, if you're on a friend level, right, with them, get to know them, and you really start to talk, that it's nice.
Yeah, just be careful to not overdo it because you don't want that crush to turn into like just a hookup,
Or do you?
I mean, maybe you do, but I mean, I don't know you that well.
You were saying? No. Now moving on to something Brittany is going to hate talking about. What to do when you have an inappropriate crush. Ooh, sassy.
Yeah. It's never good when you have a crush on a coworker, a sibling's friend, a teacher,
That's
a
me.
boss, or a friend's significant other. But don't worry, we're here to help. If you're crushing on someone who is in a position of authority over you, realize that you might just be on a power trip. People in high positions have a confidence thing about them that many people find very attractive. So if you got the hots for your boss, don't feed into it. Take a step back and assess the situation. And if you're putting too much on the line just to get a little flirty at the water cooler, I think you need to reevaluate what you're thinking.
That's true. But however, don't feel weird if you have a crush on a coworker. That's a lot less scandalous. You hook up with that lacrosse player in your stats class, who really cares? You hook up with that stats professor, that's probably frowned upon. That's probably not the best move, I gotta be honest. Don't do that.
Yeah, that is definitely in poor taste. But the absolute worst is having a crush, like Rob said, on a friend's significant other. It's bad enough when you have a crush on someone who has a boyfriend or a girlfriend already, but when you have a relationship with that person, it puts you between a rock and a hard place like no other. I hate to say this, but I mean, you should probably just let it go. You really don't want to be a homewrecker, and you definitely don't want to lose a friend over a crush.
No, I agree. So then what do you think the best way to get over a crush is then?
Getting over a crush is really, really, really difficult, but I
It
think
is.
the best way to do it, and this sounds so shallow and horrible, but the best way to do it is to find someone else to fawn over.
I thought you were going to say fondle over. Just
That
find
too.
someone else to fondle
That
in
too,
the
if
sheets,
that's what you're into.
Just get in there.
But I just mean
Take care of the hardware. if you know what I mean.
when you're getting out of a relationship, it's a little different because, you shared so much of a bond with someone else that when you come out of a relationship, you shouldn't jump into something else right away.
Right.
But you should take time to reevaluate yourself. But when you have a crush on someone,
It can be so different.
You just need to know and understand that it was a crush, nothing happened, you just liked them. And you probably, if you just had a crush on them, you probably didn't even know them that well, and you didn't you might have shared some things that were really intimate, but it's a crush, and the feelings go away. You're gonna be okay.
It's tough.
But if you're like me, I was so hardcore crushing on that guy. I couldn't sleep. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, I remember those nights. Those
Yeah.
were rough for us. Yeah. Well, we talked about that a lot.
Yeah, no, we did talk about that a
That
lot.
was so tough for us. Whew. Well, that's the thing. That's what's so tough. Like, if it's just a crush, it can be really one-sided, you know? Like, you probably only have those feelings for that person, and they might not even know that you have those feelings for them.
That's a big thing. They might not know.
And that's that weird sometimes limbo where, like, you guys actually both have crushes on each other, but you, A, don't realize it, or B, you don't get the timing right. So then it's sometimes important to either move on or, because if it's meant to be, it'll connect at some point, you know? It'll really start clicking.
Exactly.
It'll be meant to be. So that's something to keep in mind, too.
So, speaking of which, what do you do if, okay, you get the feeling your crush likes you back? Well, now you have to decide, do you tell them or do you play it cool and let them come to you?
Yes, that's very true. So saying we're in that limbo state and that someone is crushing on you, and I'm assuming right now you crush on them back, right?
Right.
Perfect. You go for it. Life's too short. Screw it. You're young-ish, right? Just go for it. Even if they say no, there's plenty of fish in the sea. That's my honest opinion. I mean, and if they go for it, that's great. I mean, then you have like that crush. You might even become more than a crush. Maybe it's like a relationship. I like the hand gesture, so maybe it goes from like here to here, and you know.
When do you think the best time to make the move is?
You mean like seasonally, like summer, or like?
No, I mean like how do you know?
Oh, it's tough. Everyone has a different tell. I'm actually one of those guys that like sacrifice a lot for the other girl. Like, so you know, I like someone when like I start doing like a lot of the small things, like picking them up, getting them milk in the morning, like stupid stuff like that. I don't know who needs milk in the morning, but if you do, I would get.
If they have a kitten.
Sure. I'm a dog person. We're dog people.
We are.
So, but you know, stuff like that. So it's something you have to read. I'm pretty good at reading people, but it's something you kind of have to read, engage for yourself. But like I said, you know, you put yourself out there, who knows? Maybe they'll say yes. Maybe they didn't even realize. And that's funny. Sometimes when you put yourself out there and they say no, and then weeks or months later, they're like, wow, actually, I have a crush on them now.
Yeah,
and you're over that crush.
That happens so many times. Is hooking up with your crush the best route to go?
Absolutely. It is, though.
Okay, no, see, the problem is...
Just get over them. Even if it's just a small thing. Just try.
No. I have something to say.
Hibachi chef. No.
So, a lot of guys do this thing, and this pisses me off. And ladies, like, I know you get just as pissed about this as I do. So guys do this thing nowadays because guys have this like thing where they think like, oh my God, I need to act like I like her. Or she won't hook up with me, and then when I do hook up with her, I'm gonna like, meh. But like, I just want to let guys know, girls want a no strings attached hookup. Don't call me after. We could just be friends and say hi to each other just as much as guys do, all right? So, like, don't pretend you like me to hook up with me because I don't care. But if you pretend that you like me, like, I'm going to get pissed when you don't answer my phone calls. You don't have to pretend. Just don't say anything at all, and I will hook up with you and never talk to you again.
That's fine. That can be a good strategy. That's true. I know some boys do that.
Yeah, so it's like when you make someone think that you like them just so you can hook up with them, that's when feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
And that's why you shouldn't hook up with your crush right away. In all honesty, if you find someone you're really, attracted to and you really like, you're lucky. So try and make it work. The worst thing that could possibly happen is they say no. And I promise you, if they say no, you'll be okay. If I could get over my long-lost sailor, you can get over the guy in your economics class.
That's true. If you can get through that breakup, you can get through your crush telling you, you're just friends. Or realizing that, unfortunately, being in love with the TV character is not healthy or realistic. So cheer up and become totally infatuated with someone else.
And if you have any great tips on how to handle a crush or any great stories about when you got crushed by a crush, you can tell us by going to our Facebook page.
There it is.
There it is. And as always, I'm Brittany Jelinski.
And I'm Rob Carrera. Tune in next time for the series finale.
It's
Will
over.
someone be naked? Will someone not be wearing pants like right now? Tune in next time.
Yes, our last episode ever.
Can you believe it?
Where Rob and I will talk about our best and worst moments. We're going to give out some props to our amazing crew that does such a terrific job for 4 years. And we're going to have some special guest stars. So
I'm not going to say Ryan Gosling's going to come on the show.
But
I'm also not saying it. So tune in.
Yeah, tune in and find out. We'll definitely have some celebrities on this show.
As always, stay classy, Marist.
Yeah, should we cut to black now? I feel like it's getting inappropriate.
Always cut to black.
Oh my god, I didn't know where that hand was gonna go. Pushing. Oh.
You idiot! You had one job, Britt. So stupid. Stomach punched you so hard, and all you would have heard like a. Just right out, a nice wet one. Like. Whatever.
If it's Rob, seek therapy.
What?
Yeah, Chastity.
You actually said his name.
Not his real name, our fake name.
It's
for
close enough.
Whoa. Whoa there.
Whoa there, cowboy.
Whoa there.